Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 12 Days of Christmas with
Chris.
and Chris. There we go. So we're into the new year now, so we thought we'd actually knock together a quick list of potentially useful gear to have for the year of 2020. It's just a short list, just some really cool stuff that you might want to look at trying to put in your arsenal of gear to have for the coming year.
So obviously, I mean, we make canopies. It's the most expensive thing on the list, by the way. So a new canopy, if you can fork it out, for sure you're going to love it. If you got the spare cheddar floating around, then we would recommend buying one of our products for sure.
True fact.
But moving on from that.
Canopy bags. So we all travel around, and from time to time we need to unhook our canopies and put them in a bag somewhere to store them, or we have 2 or 3, depending on how wealthy you are. But we offer a canopy bag you can buy straight from our website. It's $50 US. You can connect your risers straight up to it. You can pack it up and keep it all safe, and it's easy to travel with.
Nice. Also, another good thing to have as a backup is a new line set for your canopy. Maybe you're keeping an eye on your lines, maybe they're wearing out a little quicker than you thought. But the last thing you want to do is realise you need to change your line set and then not have one on hand. Turnaround time is pretty quick, but it's still good to have one right there ready for you to put on your canopy. You can order those direct from the website as well. They run in at $280 US, and that includes soft links. Another good thing to have is just a small bag. Just make sure you've got spare pull-ups, you've got spare rubber bands, most importantly spare closing loop. There's nothing worse than being on the packing mat and realising that closing loop's a bit knackered and you want to try and change it out, but you can't find one, and then you always get tempted to do I'll just one more jump on it. And we all know how that sometimes ends. So definitely new closing loop as a backup.
For sure, simple but like super helpful. And then obviously we all know the GoPro 8 came out. It's pretty amazing. I'm not going to say the GoPro 8. If you can afford one, for sure, go grab one. But with all the GoPros, what goes really good is a good, decent memory card. Most people who use a GoPro would have had that horrible freeze or they've lost footage. One good way to avoid this is to get decent memory cards, decent micro SD cards. I use personally, and we use them here, the SanDisk Extreme. Now with the footage being a lot larger, you want to go I would recommend minimum of 64 gig, which is going to run you about $15 US, all the way up to 128 gig, which is going to be about $25 US. But for sure, a decent memory card.
Okay, so on the note of cameras, it's worth having a multi-tool with you so that you can change cameras out, you can put new plates on your helmet, you can tighten things up for people that have loosened them. So Cookie do a great option. It's $15 US, and you can pretty much do everything with it. It's good to have.
Just with keeping things tidy, I have one which I'm going to grab right here. It's called a LowPro Gear Up camera box. It's a medium, but it's not just for camera gear, obviously. For me, what's really good is you could have your altimeter in there, you could have your spare pull-up, your rubber band, your closing lid that Snelly was talking about before, you can have your GoPro. It's kind of like a quick grab and go bag. It's small, it fits in the bottom of your backpack, it protects your stuff, and it keeps everything nice and tidy, which I'm a massive fan of. And that's going to run you about $35 US.
Awesome. Actually, there's one other thing that I could definitely recommend to go in that bag, especially if you're traveling around, going to not your home drop zone and you're jumping with a bunch of cool kids that you don't get to see all the time. A lot of times it's like, can you send me the footage? Can you send me the footage? So another good thing to actually have is an external hard drive. That way you can go traveling with it. There's a couple of really good options, but probably the best one is the Samsung T5 Portable. You can get those in various different sizes, from 500 gig all the way up to about 2 terabytes.
2 terabytes, yeah.
And they'll run you somewhere between $80 to $300 US. But that way, when you're at a boogie, you can just find somebody with a laptop, plug it in, get all your footage. That way you've got everything from the event.
Yeah.
Well, it's all well and good buying all this stuff, but you need somewhere to put it when you're traveling. So this sort of moves us on to travel bags. Like now, I personally have an Ojo, which is a really common bag for everyone to. I've seen a lot of them at drop zones. Pros, it's super tough. It takes a lot of beating and it'll last you a lifetime. Cons, I found it's quite heavy, so you do kind of lose out a little bit on space there. So I know Chris has a different type that he prefers.
I have a Dakine split roller. It's 110 litres. It weighs 5 kilos, so it's a little bit lighter than the OGO, which I think runs in somewhere between 6 and 7 kilos. So if you're travelling the world a lot, those kilos are going to pay off, having them spare. It's about 160 US, depending on when you get a special. But for me, I've been travelling with it now for the last 5 years. It fits my rig on one side, and spare canopy, jumping shoes, jumping clothing on one side, and on the other side just my regular stuff. They're pretty hearty. It's lasted pretty well, and I would recommend that, especially if you're trying to save a little bit of weight. But if you're trying to save even more weight,
you want the Light Osprey Shuttle. So it's a much lighter bag. It actually comes in at 3.7 kgs. It's going to give you plenty of space. It's going to save you lots and lots of weight. So if you are traveling a great deal, this is worth having, because you're going to have a lot of gear by the looks of it to kind of stuff in there. Yeah, so that's $290 US. It is a bit on the pricey side, but again, you're saving yourself collectively a lot of money with extra weight when you're traveling.
So for me, actually, international jet setting, I actually have the same as Stewie. I've got one of the Dakine split rollers. But for my day-to-day, going out to the drop zone test jumping, I keep it nice and simple. I've basically just got a cardboard box.
the last thing that we're going to suggest, which I'm going to grab out of my wallet. It's really simple actually. The best thing about this is it's free. If you travel a lot, it's my credit card. Here's my details. No, I'm just kidding. If you travel a lot and you're in many different countries and you need multiple currencies, I have a TransferWise Platinum debit card. You can. I used it in South Africa this year. They do probably the best rates. They do the best rates by comparison to your bank. So if you don't have a flash credit card, I would say it's really good. It's easy to change currency over. You can get a bank account in New Zealand, Oz, UK, the EU and USA, so you can pay quite easily in local currencies, and then you can load the card up with up to over 50 international currencies. And whenever you're in each country, that card will use whatever currency you have loaded up. So if you're in the UK and you have British pounds, then it's going to use your British pound first before, say, it uses your US dollars. It gives a good rate, and it's simple, and everything is just operated by an app. So, and that's pretty much it, guys. That's a list of kit that is helpful, and maybe just a couple of things to think about. Just a disclaimer: bar the canopy and the line set and the canopy bag, we are not affiliated with any of these companies, so take it with a grain of salt. If you want to go out and buy it, do it. For us, we've found a lot of this stuff really useful. If you don't want to spend the money, hey, that's up to you, but hopefully some of this helps.
Sounds good.
Cool. Cheers. Guys.
Yeah.